Class, welcome back to our second lesson on counting on from a given number. So last lesson we were looking at the little boy on the stepping stones, and we were rolling a dice, and then we were adding on the number and counting on to see what the answer was. So today we're going to do something similar, and then we're going to look at a different example and then look at what is the same and what is different about both of our examples. And then I will be setting you a challenge to go off and do at the end of the video. So let's start by having a look over here at number 1. So we've got Aisha here, and she's on the stepping stones on the number track that goes from 1 to 10. What number is she starting on? I want you to tell me the answer. What number is she starting on? And let's have a look next. What number has been rolled on the dice? Remember, if you're finding it tricky to count, touch the screen and count each dot, and that will help you stay on the right number each time. So, how many jumps is she going to need to make? What do you think? Let's talk about it together. So, she is starting on the number 3. So that is her first number. Let's highlight that so that we've got it ready. So she started on the number 3. And how many does she need to move? How many does she need to move? Let's count. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So she needs to make 5 jumps to find out her answer. So let's do it together. We're going to start on number 3, and she's going to jump 5 jumps. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What number has she landed on? Correct. She's landed on the number 8. Well done. So she started on the number 3. That's where we needed to count from. And she landed on the number 8. So how did we work it out? Well, we started on the number 3 and we got our cursor or our finger ready, and then we jumped for 5 jumps and we counted each one really carefully, and then we landed on the number 8. Okay, so can we explain her movements in our story using first, then, and now? Let's see if we can do it together. You have it go first, and then I'm going to show you what my story might be. Okay, so here's my one. First, Aisha was on the number 3. Then she jumped 5 steps, and now she is on the number 8. Thumbs up if we had the same story together. Okay, we're going to have a look now at the second example. Okay, let me just get rid of my markings. Okay, so this one now says, where will the counter land? So the counter is starting on which number? Which number are we starting from? Fantastic, we're starting from the number 5. And what number has been rolled on the dice? Have a go at counting again. Let me put my dots on. 1, 2, 3. So we've started with the number 5. We're on the number 5, and we now need to count on 3 more jumps. Can you work out where you think we will land? Which number will we land on? Off you go. Okay, if you think you've got it and you think you know, watch, because I'm going to do the steps for you so that we can check if you're right. Okay, so we started on the number 5. We're jumping 3 more steps. Are you ready? We're going to count on together. 1, 2, 3. Which number did he land on? Fantastic, it's the number 8. Okay. Let's go back. Let me get rid of this and let's have a look at both of our answers. Now, let me just quickly add the annotations back onto this. She started on the number 3. She jumped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and she finished on the number 8. Okay, so I'm going to ask you some questions now. Have a look at both of our examples. What is the same about both of our questions, and what is different about both of our questions? So what is the same about them, and what is different about them? I'm going to give you a minute or two to just have a chat with somebody at home and see if you can notice what's the same and what's different. And then we're going to have a chat about the answer to each question. Off you go. Okay, so I'm going to tell you some of the things that I've noticed are the same and the things that are different about the two examples. And then we're going to have a chat about what we noticed about the answer for each question. So I noticed that both of our questions both have a number track from 1 all the way to 10. And this one has one from 1 all the way to 10. But what's different about those number tracks is that one is set out like the number tracks we might have at school, and one is set out on stepping stones. So that's a little bit different, isn't it? Another thing I noticed that's the same is that they both have a dice. Both of them have a dice, but they both have different numbers on them. Something else I notice is that Aisha starts on the number 3. Over here, we jump 3 jumps. And on this one, we start at the number 5. And on this dice, we jump 5 jumps. So they've both got the numbers 5 and the numbers 3 in both of the examples, but they're not the same way round. They're done the other way around a little bit differently. So one starts with 3 and counts on 5, and one starts with 5 and counts on 3. Okay, now let's have a chat about the answer. So what do you notice about both of the answers? Have a look where both of the examples land. Which number do both of them land on? So this one here, we land on the number 8. And this one here, we land on the number, the number 8. We land on the same number. So 3 and 5 more is 8. And 5 and 3 more is 8. So we've realised that 5 and 3 makes 8, and 3 and 5 makes 8. Isn't that interesting? So I wonder now if you can go away and you can do a challenge for me. So using the game that you used in yesterday's maths lesson, using your number track and using your counter that you might have found around the house, I'd like you to go and explore more ways of using two numbers that are the same but changing them around. And I want you to see, do we always land on the same number or is it different? So for example, I'm going to choose two numbers. I'm going to choose the number 4 and the number 2. So if I start on the number 4 and I add 2 more, which number will be my answer? And then if I start on 2 and I do it the other way round and I add on 4 more, I count 4 more along the track, what will be my answer? Will they be the same or will they be different? And I want you to see how many different numbers you can do that with and see if the answer is always the same or if the answer is different. And then you can email us your findings later on in the day. Okay, good luck, off you go, and we'll speak to you later. Bye.